All right. So it is Monday, May the 12th, and we're live. We are excited to be here. We are excited for the ability to go live on this platform and to be able to be a support to those who find us here and a support to those who are able to find this replay. We intend to be consistent with this offering, with that level of consistency is we have yet to flush out. It may be daily. It won't be Wednesday because Wednesday is when we have our um, conscious discussions, which are live Zoom calls where we are on live with you one on one in conversation versus communicating through chat through this platform. It's even more powerful to be live in conversation and have an actual discussion. That's where we actually want you so that you can really get into the energy and be a part of the flow of an actual conversation. If you find value in these type of interactions, if you're a subscriber here and you have found value in the information that we are presenting, then be sure to check the description and go to the link, follow the link for the conscious discussions so that you can have an opportunity to participate live when you are available and when you are inspired. But at the moment, we're here now on this platform to discuss an important topic. The title is You May Be Confusing the Promise. And we're going to discuss that for a little bit. Was sort of impromptu. We didn't really put much out via our email list or on these social media platforms that we were going to go live today. We're going to get on top of doing that so that more are aware. But we're going to discuss this and it's going to be available. Nonetheless, again, we do host conscious discussions right now on Wednesdays. These are live via Zoom, and these are powerful opportunities for you to participate in live discussions where you can be supported and where your this journey of enlightenment that you are on have the ability to accelerate that process through learning, through understanding, and through the tuning of your vibration to higher frequencies. But we're here. And again, the title is You May Be Confusing the Promise. Conscious creators, we want you to understand that what you believe the promise to be as it pertains to your life experience, this iteration of life on your plane of existence, may not be the actual promise. So many are caught up in the right and wrong of things, the good and bad of things, not realizing deeply, haven't yet achieved the level of frequency that allows you, the level of frequency and the truth on those frequencies to allow you to understand that good, bad, right, wrong is all inside of source. That which you call good, bad, right, wrong is exists in your mind, even just on your plane of existence, not on any of the other planes of existence, because you're focused purely on your plane of existence that's all you're seeing. That's all you're recognizing. And so, good, bad, right, wrong, these ideas are huge in your mind, and you believe that this is experience. This is what it is. This is what it means. And source is identifying this as well. No, you are identifying this. The mind of humanity are identifying and claiming these type ideas, but all of this is inside of source. These creations, these idea creations are inside of source. The idea of good, bad, right, wrong are created in the mind of humanity. The promise, one of the promises, is that you have the ability to create experience, which is why you are here. You are here to create experience. Now, when you place in that the good, bad, right, wrong, you get into, oh, well, I would never create this. Well, this doesn't feel good. This is a bad situation. This is a bad thing. I would create this because this is a good thing. not realizing that you're playing the polarity game. Your plane of existence has polarity built into it to support the creation of experience. You have to work your way backwards, inwards in understanding and recognize that experience is experience. Because even though most when they say good, bad, right, wrong, it has to do with some big idea, right? Some big thing that has been deemed or categorized this way. They're not looking at things like what you, from your perspective, would call small things, like you spilled your drink. Good, bad, right, wrong, right? Oh, it's a terrible thing. It's the only drink I had. It was the only one I could afford. It was my favorite drink, so I'm upset. I'm frustrated. Versus the next person, they spilled their drink and it's not a problem. All right. So it was good or bad to this person, but it wasn't good or bad to the next person, which means it's not the truth. It's not the truth of existence. It's not the truth of your potential. It's not the truth of your possibility. It's an idea that has been created by humankind and that is even further more specifically categorized per the group, any particular group, all the way down to the individual. This was bad. This was not right for me. But the next person may not even care. Or it may have been perfect for them and they're excited about the exact same experience. The promise is that you are a creator and that you are creating experience for your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you will review once you make your transition from your body. And you will not look at things as good, bad, right, wrong. You will look at things as experience. I created this experience. I created that experience. This is how I created it. This is why. Is this something that I intend to continue to explore? Did I fulfill the exploring that I intended before I came into this physical body? If I did not, am I okay with where I am, what I learned along the way? Or do I continue to explore those ideas or that idea further until I get to the point where the understanding, maybe not so much lesson, you could say lesson, but the understanding is revealed and known to me, right? Because that's the most powerful learning when you get the idea that's most perfect and right for you at the moment, not when it's given to you, when you're taking a test or you're studying in a class. The highest level of learning is it coming through you, not be it being put into you. It doesn't do any good for someone to give you the answers when you don't haven't acquired the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding to fulfill the problem yourself. It's the same with that which you call life. Being rescued from the most dire circumstance doesn't grow the muscle of understanding. The muscle of understanding is developed and grown as the solutions, as the understanding comes through you, which is why you don't perceive experience as good, bad, right, wrong from your soul's perspective. Another promise is that all is available now. All things are energy. All things are born of energy. Understand that. Everything is energy. Everything is has a level of vibration out of which it comes from the energies. You are an energy being. You will know this when you transition from your physical body. All things are energy, from your tables to your chairs, to the wind, to the trees, all animals, all beings who are human are energy first. When you work your way backwards, even intellectually, before you fully know and understand, you're aware. You become aware that all things are made up of the fundamental building block particles: protons, neutrons, electrons. Your water molecules are made of these. Your oxygen, air molecules are made of these. Your body, you keep working your way back to the cells, the organelles, and the entities, physical entities inside of the cell. You keep going backwards and inwards. You get to the particles, your protons, neutrons, and electrons. Okay, what is it that these energy particles come out of? They come out of the energies that are flowing as waves that are present constantly. This is what yields the particle. Everything is energy. Everything, all planes of existence exist on a level of frequency. And you have the potential to adjust your frequency as you walk physically to be able to do what? To be able to perceive differently. You interpret differently, to connect with each other and others who are not physical. All of these are possibilities. And so the promise is understanding that everything is energy, is that you can bring anything you intend, anything you desire into physical manifestation. You can materialize it. And you don't have to believe us. Why? Because over the course of your life experience, you have materialized that which you have experienced to this point already. You have materialized the highs and lows. You have materialized that which you call a great experience and a not so great experience through your intention, through where you have placed your focus, through that which you have gotten specific on. Now, there are many who are at various places on this path and not on this path that will disagree. But what they haven't done is they haven't identified the ideas, the thought patterns, and the consistent feelings that they have expressed along the way that were the precursors to experience. That thing that continues to happen that you don't like, you're thinking about it, you believe in it, and every time you entertain it, whether you are angry or frustrated about it, or you're trying to figure out how to not have it happen again as experience. You're entertaining it as an idea. You're seeing it clearly in your mind, especially if it was traumatic. You probably are able to see every detail, everything and everyone that was involved clearly and specifically. And when you do that, you're feeling the feeling as if the experience is happening right now in the present moment, and you're doing everything right from a creative process, from a creative standpoint. You're engaging the creative process perfectly. And that's why it continues to manifest. Whether we're talking about beautiful experiences with people or we're talking about experiences where you feel disrespected, dishonored, you feel like a victim, you feel helpless. The same with circumstances where you feel empowered, where you feel overjoyed, where you feel appreciated and accepted. All of these type experiences stem from the exact same creative process that is inside of you. Clear images, or as clear as you can get them, specific as you can get them. Feeling the feeling in the present moment of that experience, and then not resisting it in any way, not being in conflict with it. And what we mean by that is that when you have a desire, if it's a beautiful creation or a creation that is needed desperately, if you have fear in regards to it, if you doubt it, if you have worry, insecurities, any of those things around or toward that experience, you are in conflict with it. And here's the interesting piece: that which you dislike, that which you hate, those experiences that you absolutely do not want to have happen again, you're never in conflict with them because you're focused on that experience. How often, when you are focused on something that upsets you or frustrates you, do you find yourself resisting it by entertaining the opposite, by entertaining an experience that is in contrast with it? Most that are having challenges in relationships are focused on relationship. They're seeing what's wrong or blaming others in that relationship for what happened, what's happening now, how they're feeling. And there's no space in there for this is what a beautiful relationship would be like from my experience, from my part. I would love to have this experience. This would be a beautiful experience. It would be so amazing for this type of conversation, this type of interaction at our holiday family events, or if it's an intimate relationship with this individual as we go to the park, as we go to restaurants, as we go to the movies, and we do all these fun things. How often have you heard anyone entertain the idea of their highest experience in that way? If we're just talking about relationships, how often have you done that? When that area has been tumultuous or frustrating or angering, right? The conditioning says you have to focus on it. Or even not that you have to focus on it, just the mind holds you in that place. And that's why, for the most part, with things you are unhappy with, you focus on them. You never entertain the idea of what it would be like to have your actual desired experience because you don't believe in that. What good would that do? It's not going to change anything. And so you focus on that which you don't want. When the truth is, the more you focus on what you actually desire and feel it in the present moment, now you're slowing down the experience or the repeating experience of that which you do not desire because you're offering an opposing idea. And your inner creative process is a closed circuit, if you will. You cannot entertain two ideas at the same time. You can't have in full bloom operation in your mind and body that which you do not desire at the same time you're holding that which you do desire. You can't feel love and hate at the same time. You can't feel fear and be empowered and confident from your perspective at the same time. And that's why it's so important that you, within your mind and body, are constantly holding in and entertaining that which you desire over that which has been your past experience or norm of things that you do not desire. You change the tide, you create new momentum by holding the image and feeling that which you desire, that which you intend. But the promise is whatever you desire can be materialized, and it has been, and it is, and it will. Because the materials for those experiences are constantly present. They're always present. The energies out of which the particles and the forms materialize is infinite. It's infinite. And if you just look on your plane of existence, you have a wide, broad range of experiences being created. You have the wealthiest of the wealthy and the poorest of the poor. You have the most excited in relationship, and you have those who are terribly frustrated in relationship. The entire spectrum is being created. But once you become conscious that you are creating, you can begin to choose by engaging your inner creative process correctly, properly, and powerfully. But you have to believe that it's there. Each one is present for each one, it's within each one. You have to believe that it's there. You have to understand the pieces and how you've been interacting with them and utilize them the whole time. And then you have to begin the play and practice of becoming consistent at offering that which you intend over that which you do not desire. You have to begin the play and practice of being consistent at building the muscle of seeing that which you desire to experience. If you desire to see joy, if you desire to experience excitement, if you desire to experience love, you have to condition yourself to see those things and think about those things. It might require you turning off your media sources because what's dominantly being programmed in your media sources is not the highest of experiences. You can find them. It's often a lot of that which is undesired. But people don't realize that. You don't realize that when you're watching your media source and you're watching the violence and you're watching the danger and you're watching the conflict, those ideas and the feeling, everything's being done perfectly in a creative process. Imagery, feeling, focus, attention. Those things are going into your system, going into your being, going into your mind and body, activating the inner creative process, and you're being conditioned to those type experiences. So it would be powerful to turn those things off as you begin the play and practice of reprogramming yourself, conditioning yourself to that which you desire to have experience, to that which you actually intend to experience. Because the time frame is prolonged. The time frame for the creation of that which you actually desire is slowed down drastically when you, in your meditative times, are entertaining the ideas, holding that idea until you actually start feeling the feeling. And you do that for 10, 15, 20 minutes where you're in your sacred space, in your meditative space, and everything is perfect. The conditions are perfect. But then when you step out of that space, you are listening to the radio and you're watching TV and you're going to the movies and you're conversing with friends and family, and that's all not great things. They're talking about broken relationships. They're talking about the challenge they're having at work and they're angry and frustrated about it. And it makes you feel that way. And you start considering the possibility of it happening to you. You're watching conflict and violence on your media through your media sources, and your mind is the imagery. When you're watching these things, you're holding those images are created in the screen of on the screen of your mind, just as it's on the screen that you're watching, and you fall into a hypnotic state where you're feeling the feelings as if those things are happening to you, and you're being programmed, and you're doing more of that than you are what you're doing in your meditative state. So which one is bigger? Which ideas are dominant inside of you? That which is dominant is what's going to be your majority experience. Because once an idea comes online as dominant, as a belief in the unconscious regions of your mind, it begins to materialize through you because you're feeling the feeling. So it's a vibrational, energetic expression. You're an energy being, first and foremost. Your thoughts are energy and they resonate out from you. They're not just contained in your mind, in your brain, excuse us, and they resonate out. You have to understand these things in order to actually come online as a powerful conscious creator. We know that you are aspiring to be that, but there are things that you have to do. There are things that you have to make priority in order to actually step into the shoes that are already built for you. Everyone has an inner creative process that is active right now. And if you want to change experience, you have to change that which is being sown into your inner creative process. You have to transform the ideas that are already online as dominant. But you can. You can. Many have. Many have. Many are in the process right now. But to speed up that process, you may have to let some things go for a while. You may have to prioritize certain things over others for a while. Because understand that once you establish new ideas and they become dominant, you can see things happening over here but not believe them. There are things that come into your experience now that you don't believe. You don't even realize that you're doing it. Somebody's having an experience or you see something happening over there and you have compassion for them or empathy, whichever one is the correct word. You have that for them, but you don't believe it for yourself. That doesn't happen to me. And so that information doesn't go in and doesn't make its way deep enough to actually become a dominant idea for you because you don't believe it. I don't believe in that. Yeah, I see that it's happened. I see people have that experience, but I don't believe that. When Benny was little, he tried that. He had doctors and people suggesting to him that he might have asthma. Now, was he having allergic reactions? Yes, but he didn't have asthma. And he had an aunt who had asthma really bad, and she passed away in her sleep. And he had the idea that it was because of the asthma, so he refused that idea. Always refused it, even though the doctors suggested that. Even though adults around him suggested that possibility, he always refused it. Now, if he had accepted that idea, his allergic reactions would have developed into asthma once that idea took root. But he never believed it, and so he never had that experience. Once ideas come online as dominant, they become your experience because you're now resonating them beautifully. As seeds sown, beautiful flowers have been grown and developed and come into full bloom to be able to see, seeing them inside and seeing them outside as experience. And there's no good, bad, right, wrong in that. It has to do with ideas that you have accepted, ideas that you have allowed to be sown and groomed yourself on the inside until now you don't even know that you're constantly thinking about the thing, that you're constantly often feeling the thing. The details are clear and specific. And wow, it has become your experience. And it follows you. Benny knows people who have had not great experiences at their jobs, and they communicated to him and his wife, yeah, the people here, they do this and they do that, and I don't like it, and I don't like how they talk and these things. And they moved cities, changed cities. They went to a completely different city, got the same type of job. They took their credentials and all of these things, and they got the same type of job down there, found housing, all of those things. And then 3 months, 4 months, 5 months later, they're calling in conversation and they're having the same type experience because they took the ideas and the beliefs with them because those are internal. You cannot escape your beliefs. You can change cities. You can change partners in relationship. You can change jobs. You can stop talking to those family members. You can stop talking to your mother or father who always treats you a certain way. You can do all of those things. But the experience continues to appear in front of you because all of those people and all of those circumstances were merely reflections of that which is inside. You understand that this knowledge, if this is the first time you're coming in contact with this, can be unsettling. It can even be frustrating. It can be angry. But once you get past that, it is incredibly empowering. And you don't have to believe us. We don't want you to believe us because that's not understanding. Understanding is looking into your past, seeing how you are thinking about a thing, seeing how you are often feeling of a thing. And wow, it has been my experience for a long time. Empowerment and understanding is playing with it right now, starting today. Begin to entertain an idea that you've never considered before. Begin to get clear on that idea and feel what it would feel like to have that experience. Not something big, not something that you really, really need right now, but something that's inconsequential, something that is small from your perspective. Start thinking about it. Start getting clear on it. Feel the feeling of the experience. And only you know that you're doing it. And watch. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to start having the experience of the information. You may overhear conversations about that thing, and nobody knows it but you. You're writing it down, taking notes. You may have someone show up in your experience that's talking about the thing. Nobody knows that you intended that thing and you're establishing an idea and you started it last week. Nobody knows that but you. And then when it actually materializes and you don't really realize it until 2 days later, wow, the thing happened. The drink showed up. The free meal at the restaurant the specific restaurant I chose showed up. When that happens, and you've noted all of those things that came to pass in relationship with it until it actually happened, and you know that you did it, and you know that you started thinking about it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and nobody knows but you. And yet, that still may not be enough to make what we're talking about for you a priority. So our suggestion is that you keep doing it and keep a notebook and do it over and over and over and over again. Watch the details. See when the thing manifests, when it materializes in front of you, until you know and have proven to yourself that you are doing it. And then when you decide to make a priority all of the things that we have suggested so that you can recreate yourself and recreate your life, come talk to us. Get in on those live calls. Schedule a private session. Look into the private community, the Ascension Accelerator. After you prove it to yourself and you decide that this needs to be a priority, because I don't want to wait until after I make my transition to know who I truly am. I'd like to know now so that I can begin creating things that I intend, so that I can step into the truth of my being in source now, so that I can discover who I am without fear now. That's our suggestion for those of you who may have confused the promise or are aware that you have confused the promise and you're ready to get on the right track. We are highly excited for each of you who have found this recording, found this interaction. Check to the description for the information. Follow that link for our conscious discussions, which are the actual live discussions that we have now on Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. There are a few people on. Any of you who are on now, live, we have a few minutes. If you have any questions about what has been discussed, any comments or anything beautiful, amazing, feel free to place those in the chat and we'll take a few minutes to interact with you that way. That's excellent, Catherine. Yeah. And we understand, the your media creations, the television shows, the movies, they're fantastic. We know they're fantastic. You just have to be moderate with it. And like you said, I watch drama, but I also watch inspirational and aspirational media more. That's important, especially if you have made it a priority of that which you intend and desire to experience. That's when it becomes more and more important to be aware of what's going into the system. right? It's just like the water. It's just like the pitcher of water that is murky and the water is not clean. It's dirty. And you're pouring in that clean water. You have to keep pouring it until the water starts overflowing and all the dirty water is coming over the top while you're pouring in the clean water. It's the same thing here. When you're reconditioning yourself, not for any specific manifestation, but just reconditioning yourself to certain, to the types of experiences that you desire, the feeling of the experience, the color, the tone of the experience that you actually desire. In order to condition yourself to those, getting out of what has been the norm, you may have to turn some things off and turn up the volume and the consistency of things that make you feel the way you desire your experiences to feel. But what you're doing is perfect. Being aware of and making one a priority and entertaining one more than the other is perfect. Anyone else have a thought? Beautiful thought, beautiful question, a beautiful comment. Okay. So if not, we are thankful for each of you who participated today with your energy, and you did participate with your energy. It helped guide us in our discussion, and we thank you for that. We're thankful and excited for each of you who have found this recording. If you're not connected with us via this platform and via our offline connection, be sure to make your way to that so that you're alerted when we do have offline offerings and all of the possibilities that we are offering through this vessel. We're excited for you. We love you very much, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.